in vehicles. In addition to paying large gas and parking costs and other automobile expenses, single drivers can't use HOV lanes to accelerate their trip to work. And single occupant vehicles clog the roads and also cause a large amount of air pollution. There are certainly transportation alternatives, but none of them are ideal. Taxis are extremely expensive and not suitable for commuting. Trains and buses have fixed schedules and fixed routes, and they tend to be slow. And existing carpooling services are static, and so they tend to force people into static schedules, which don't necessarily fit well with the flexible nature of all of our lives. So that's what motivated us to create Zebigo.com. So Zebigo is an on-demand, real-time matching service that links up riders and drivers who are traveling in common directions at common times. So our system, for riders who use our system, they pay a cost share to the drivers who take them from their source to their destination, and in that way it provides a benefit to the driver as well as to the rider. Our system is secure. Users who travel together after their trip provide a rating and an optional comment that future users can use to determine whether these folks are people with whom they want to share a trip or not. In addition, people can get optional background checks, which is another bit of detail about yourself that again can encourage future possible trip partners to want to travel with you. So we think our system is a tipping point technology. It's easy to use. It's secure. It provides financial motivation for both riders and for drivers. And most importantly, it works on your schedule. So how does it work? Drivers and riders log on to the system using their mobile device or any web browser. They submit their locations from and to which they're traveling using a simple map-based interface. Our system then performs a match between all the users who are in the system, again based on their routes and the times they're traveling. It then displays the resulting best match for you, including both information about the user with whom you're matched and information about the trip, such as directions and other details such as that. The two users, after they've both agreed to take the trip, they get together and they actually travel together. Our system provides features such as an automated phone bridge that you can dial into that allows you to get a direct voice link with the person you're traveling with. So you don't need to know the other person's phone number. You call our standard number, hit a button, and it connects you through to them so you can find them when they're on the street corner. Of course, you also know what they look like, what the vehicle looks like as well, and I'll demonstrate this in a second. After the trip is complete, both users log back onto the website in order to close out the trip by submitting that rating and that optional comment that I described earlier. And then the rider pays the cost share to the driver using a simple PayPal interface through our website. It's very fast and easy to use. And that's basically how it works. In terms of how much it costs for a typical Puget Sound commute, such as from Bellevue to Seattle, the rider would pay, in this case, $6 as a cost share to the driver, and would pay 49 cents to Zebigo, which is our fee for helping to maintain the matchmaking service. So that's pretty much the basic concept. I'll do a quick demonstration now. So from our homepage, and I guess I should say first that we are currently in the process of preparing to conduct a beta trial of our system in the greater Seattle area over the next couple of months. So we're in the middle of trying to recruit new users, so I'd encourage everybody, if you're interested, to go to our website, Zebigo.com, sign up for an account. It's free. You'll also receive $10 in coupons, which you can use as rideshare payments to drivers. So I would encourage everybody to do that. But just so this isn't a real trip, this is just a sample. So I'll log into our test website here with my account. And you can see here's my photo and the photo of my car. And let's suppose today I want to drive, and on my way home down to Kent, let's suppose I'd like to make a few extra dollars. So I'll say I want to drive. And our system lets you store predefined locations. So I put in one earlier today. It also stores your last trip that you took, but I put in a location before for a tech cafe. That's where I'm going from. And I've got a home in here. And say I want to travel at 6:30. Just enter the time, how flexible I am in terms of how much time I can vary in terms of my departure. I click on, you can see my route is displayed. I click Find a Match. And I confirm the details. So now our system goes through and it attempts to match me with somebody who's going in the same direction as me. And I don't have to stay, I can stay logged into the website like we'll do here today, but I don't have to do this. I could close my web browser entirely. Then when a match is found, the system would notify me in a couple of ways. First, it'd send me an email. But then if I enabled that feature, it would also send me a text message so that I would know that I had a potential match with somebody, so I could log back on to the system and see who they were and what the other details were for the trip. And as I mentioned before, we have an automated phone system that first, as I described earlier, you can call into it. It'll tell you the details of your trip, allow you to connect with the other user on the phone. But it'll also call you if the other user has a key change in their itinerary that's going to affect your plans, such as they are going to be more than 10 minutes early, more than 10 minutes late, or if they even have to cancel the trip. So that's a number. We have a bunch of those different communication options that are designed to make the system easy to use. So here in about 10 more seconds, I had previously set up another fake user with whom hopefully I'll get matched, so we'll see if that works in a second here. And there we go. And oh, in this case, it's just my dog, but and so you can see at this point, it's my choice whether or not to travel with Penske, my dog. So I can click on his profile and see some information about him. For example, he has an overall rating of 4 stars over 1 trip, and somebody left a comment for his previous trip. So in this way, he has not been background checked, so I can make an intelligent decision about whether this is somebody with whom I want to travel. So let's suppose that I do. I would just click accept match. And at this point, now we would wait for the rider to accept the match as well. Once he had done that, then I would see details. You can see a preliminary itinerary here about the different estimated times where the pickup would occur, the drop-off of the rider, and then my eventual arrival back at my original point of destination. So that's basically how it works. Once we were done, again, it would be just a few more clicks in order to complete the closeout process. For the rider, would also have to do the PayPal, which is a step to pay me, which is just another couple steps as well. So we think it's a really easy-to-use service that we're hoping will provide just another transportation option that people can use whenever they have a change in their schedule that would make their other alternative options, such as their regular carpool, not as effective. So that's the idea behind Zebigo. Again, I'd encourage everybody to go to zebigo.com and create an account if you're interested. We'll let you know when we're ready to use the service. We're building up our customer base for our initial Seattle trial sometime later this year. So that's it. Any questions I can answer?
Yeah, did you mention how far off the beaten path you'd be willing to go as a driver?
So the system, when it provides the match, for example, in this case, it provides you with an estimated diversion distance and time that's based in part on Google Maps data and part on our estimate. But as you can see, the A, B, C, and D, the A is my original point of departure, B is where I pick up the rider, C is where I drop the rider off, D is my final one. So you can look at the map and kind of see whether it's a trip you'd want to take or not. We restrict, we won't show you a match if it's going to be more than about 15 total minutes out of your way. But again, it's really up to you to make a decision about, because our system, it does use an intelligent routing algorithm, but nobody knows better than you that you don't want to go over to the 405 when you're heading down the 5. So it's really, that's why you can also, if you don't like a particular match, you just say, I don't want this one. It'll put you back into the pool and try and match you with somebody else that might have a more preferable path for you.
Okay, so maybe you said this, but when it comes to calculating the compensation time, does it take into account what type of vehicle they have, like the fuel economy it gets is expensive to maintain, et cetera, et cetera. If it gets like 12 miles to the gallon and repair costs a fortune.
Not right now. Right now, it's a fixed rate that we set. It's a per mileage rate that varies, and the rate varies based on the trip. For a short trip, you'll pay a higher per mileage fee. For a longer trip, you'll pay lower. But it doesn't yet take into account the type of vehicle. That might be a kind of feature that we add someday. It also, our system does keep track of the overall carbon emission savings that you save by riding with somebody else based on the difference between the separate trips and the combined trip. That gets stored on your user profile, so regular users will see how much carbon they're saving based on an overall estimate.